Hello student, today we are going to start new chapter, the Cold War era. This chapter provides a backdrop to the entire book. That means it is a base of political science. You must listen and understand carefully as well as you must note down the main terms on your notebook. The contents of this chapter are: first is Cold War, and the second is Cuban Missile Crisis. Third is the emergence of two power blocks. The next is Challenge to Bipolarity, and the next is New International Economic Order. And the sixth is India and the Cold War. And the last is Arms Control Treaties. All these topics will be discussed in details in coming slides. Wars that matter in this chapter are Cold War, Cuban Missile Crisis, Allied Forces, Axis Power, Alliance System, Deterrence, Neutrality. In the coming slides, you will see the personalities, abbreviations, and Cold War timeline related to this chapter. These slides are very important for MCQs and short type question answer. These are the two personalities of Cold War, Nikita and Fidel Castro. These are the abbreviations used in whole chapter and very important for the examination point of view. For instance, NAM, or we can say NAM, the Non-Aligned Movement. And the next is NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The next, CENTO, the Central Treaty Organization. LTBT, the Limited Test Ban Treaty. NPT, Network Time Protocol. Learn these abbreviations very carefully. The Cold War timeline years. Starting from 1947, American President Harry Truman's doctrine about the containment of communism. In 1950 to 53, Korean War. And the next, 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis. In 1990, unification of Germany. In 1991, disintegration of the Soviet Union. And one thing more, you have to learn all the Cold War years very carefully. First of all, you will see the map that's showing different aspects of Cold War. Here, yellow indicates the NATO members. Red shows Warsaw Pact members. Green is indicate to other communist nations, and gray is others.
We will discuss what is the Cold War. The end of the Second World War was also the beginning of the Cold War. The end of the Second World War is a landmark in contemporary world politics. In 1945, the Allied forces led by the US, Soviet Union, Britain and France defeated by the Axis power led by Germany, Italy, Japan, ending the Second World War. And the Cold War was the war of ideologies. The US followed by the ideology of liberal democracy and capitalism, while the USSR backed the ideology of socialism and communism. In the nutshell, the Cold War referred to the competition the tension and a series of confrontation between two countries, USA and USSR. The Allied forces in Second World War was led by Britain, France, USSR and Russia defeated the Axis powers led by Germany, Italy and Japan. The Second World War ended when the United States dropped two atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, causing Japan to surrender. But the Cold War, in spite of being an intense form of rivalry between great powers, remained a cold and not hot or shooting war. It was due to logic of deterrence. But here, what is the meaning of logic of deterrence? Because that is a very important term. That means when both sides have the capacity to respond against an attack and to cause so much destruction that neither can afford to initiate war. The two superpowers and their allies were expected to behave as rational and responsible actors. Are the summary of this topic. Like Cold War referred to competitions, tensions and series of confrontations between the US and USSR. In 1945, with the end of Second World War, Cold War began when the US dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in diplomatic manner to warn Soviet Union. And you must read and understand these terms because these are very important. These are the facts that matter. In continuation to the previous slide, these are the facts that matter.
These are the 20 facts that matter. So you must read and understand very carefully. Thanks.